how much has it changed in 3 years? Is it exponential? Is it linear?
It's exponentially grown. It's gone from just being able to do words to do pictures to video. I mean, it's getting to that next level where we can have this podcast. We could say, hey, we want to have a podcast of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty. I don't have to come here. I'll tell you what I'm going to say, and it'll look like we're doing it.
Wait a minute, are you actually here?
I hope so.
Like, for example,
there are plenty of people that are losing their minds because of that.
Welcome to another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty, where family, business, and future success converge. We are in Season 2, Episode 22.
cool?
And I am your host, Andreas.
I'm Stefan.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Martin. And this episode is sponsored by Trendler Incorporated.
So I'm going to introduce our guest today, an honored guest for sure. And so considering the magnitude of his background, I'm going to have to read this. So forgive me reading, and here goes nothing. Today, we're stepping into one of the most important battles of our time, the rise of artificial intelligence, and what it means for those willing to adapt and those who won't. Our guest today, Jake Gfesser, a data-driven entrepreneur and AI-enabled operator who's been living inside the numbers long before AI became a buzzword. As the founder of Inspiration Affluence, Jake helps brands scale across Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, and global marketplaces by leveraging artificial intelligence, automation, and predictive analytics to remove the guesswork and replace emotion with data-backed clarity. His work sits at the intersection of machine intelligence and human judgment, where decisions are faster, margins are tighter, and execution matters. Behind the scenes, Jake has built and scaled his own AI-assisted e-commerce operations, leveraging data models, automation tools, and global virtual teams to create leverage without chaos. Before entrepreneurship, Jake operated as an intrapreneur, sharpened his edge inside companies like Fleetmatics and Verizon, working deep in key performance indicators, SQL, Tableau, Salesforce, and analytics. Skills now that form the backbone of how he applies artificial intelligence to real-world business decisions. This conversation isn't about theory. It's about practical intelligence. How to think clearly in a world of accelerating change. And how leaders can use AI as a tool without surrendering judgment, values, or ownership. So that being said, welcome, Jake, to the Brothers, Battles, and Bounty podcast.
I'm going to owe you a couple of bucks for that one.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Wow.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So the topic is artificial intelligence. And Jake, what would you say is kind of your version of what exactly that is for an audience that may be well-versed and may not be well-versed?
Well, so for the non-verse people, I would say it's a very scary topic. It's taking over very, very quickly. We aren't really at the point of general relative AI intelligence where, it can actually think for itself, but we're getting scarily close. So with that, that's where I think a lot of people are kind of afraid of it. But at the same time, it's going to bring about innovation, ease of use, and the ability to have an expert on hand that you don't have to pay expert prices for when you can actually do things yourself. And as a young entrepreneur myself, the barrier to entry has never been lower because of AI and because of the new technology that is developing. So, yeah.
Wonderful. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. What would you say is one of the biggest AI myths right now?
That it actually can think for itself. It's not really AI. Everyone thinks that AI is artificial intelligence, what we think of as, thinking and thought and that. And it's not really that yet. Actually, it's just predictive. I mean, we've kind of already been trained on this. When you go to your cell phone for the last 5 to 10 years, where it'll say, you should say this next, and you just click it at the top. That's the same way that the large language models like ChatGPT and all those other ones actually work. It's just predicting what should be said, but instead of just one word being predicted what's next, it's all the words in a sequence. So the fact that we have the computing power to do that now we can actually leverage that and beyond just, hey, how are you doing today? It's now, hey, by the way, you need to do this, 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 and this.
Awesome. So it doesn't have consciousness yet.
The fringe parts of the internet would say otherwise, but it seems like it knows you pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But no, it is not actually.
Where are some of the things currently that AI is doing that people really aren't aware of? Like, what are some of the things that we're dealing with every day that AI is actually doing?
Great question. So I'll give you a real world example, and this is several years old already. McKinsey is one of the biggest investment firms in the world. They're leveraging hundreds of billions of dollars in terms of all their investments. And one of their top level advisors, when you're going to go sell a company or take it public, or, they do kind of an intro of how they do a lot of research, figuring out what, about the company that they're going to be working with, and, how they can scale, how they could do things. Well, 3 years ago, I believe it was, they decided, and this is before ChatGPT is anywhere near where it is now, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's exponentially better. As an experiment, they fed all of their, their reports that they would do for their initial investment, search, and it spit out exactly what they would do for a company. And the people in their office were shocked because they pay people a lot of money to do those reports. And the fact that it spit it out in less than 10 minutes.
Oof. Yeah.
But that was 3 years ago. Right now, it'll do it a lot shorter.
It'll do it a lot quicker. It'll do it a lot better. And a lot of the things that probably missed no longer misses. So, that's just one example.
Right.
And you can go down to finance, to medical, to any sector of the economy. It will disrupt it. Most people think that, it's going to take away, the jobs with robots, but really it's going to take away the really highly skilled tech jobs is what it's really going to take first. The lawyers, the accountants, because all of those jobs are based on,
specialized
processes, knowledge, and it can just absorb all that based on the text that's available.
Yeah. So question I have is, you referenced this survey with, what's it called? McKinsey. It's 3 years ago. How much has it changed in 3 years? Is it exponential? Is it linear? Is it what's happened in 3 years?
So it's exponentially grown. It's gone from just being able to do words to do pictures to video. It's getting to that next level where we can have this podcast. We could say, hey, we want to have a podcast of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty. I don't have to come here. I'll tell you what I'm going to say, and it'll look like we're doing it.
Wait a minute. Are you actually here?
I hope so.
Like, for example,
there are plenty of people that are losing their minds because of that.
Right. Working with.
It is kind of weird.
I use AI all the time, and there's one particular one that I got exposed to. It's called Delphi. You familiar with?
I haven't heard that one, but
what Delphi is a application where you record yourself reading a series of things, and it films you, and then it gets your mannerisms and all the things that you read, kind of get a good portfolio. And then after that, then you just load it data or text.
So it's like your avatar.
And it literally is a video of you, but it's all artificial. And so that looks like you on the podcast, but it's not. It's this artificial intelligence version of you from the film that adjusts to your facial features and the gestures that you make. And
I remember seeing the first time was like a couple of years ago or a year or two ago. There was a gentleman that was doing, I don't know if it was on Instagram or whether it was TikTok, but he was doing exactly that, but as the actor Tom Cruise.
Oh, he did an artificial version of Tom
He
Cruise.
would be like sitting there, hey, and he looked, sounded, mannerism just like Tom Cruise, but it obviously wasn't Tom Cruise, which that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So what you just triggered was AI is affecting all aspects of our life. We don't even really, we just pick certain aspects that we use it, right, as humans.
Well, you got to realize that the people you're dealing with are probably using it.
Yeah. My point was, what impact is AI having on music, movies, artists?
Well, you can't watch TV right now without seeing an AI commercial. I don't know if you've ever paid attention.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
I haven't.
You could tell what's real. What's not. There's still an element of differentiating.
At the beginning, you watch football. I know you do. I've seen you do it.
That's all AI. That's
if
all
you watch
AI.
all the
AI made up.
the
There's no real
commercials at the bottom, it says this was recorded using whatever AI. This was used AI.
Okay.
This is used AI. I mean, everything from the biggest brands in the world to the small fries that no one's ever heard of are using AI.
To create their ads.
To create everything from ads to, voiceovers. I mean, one of the biggest celebrities in China makes $100 million a year with an avatar of himself. He created an AI, like you were saying with the Tom Cruise, but he made it of himself, where it just sits and does auctions all day.
So it's
like a live auction. I mean, it's like it almost sounds like it almost sounds made up. It's crazy.
So auction. What define auction? What's an auction? What does it mean?
There's other. I don't know the Chinese stuff. I'm just saying what I've heard. So I'm probably getting the names wrong or that. But if you go on TikTok, there are people that are live right now that are trying to sell you things.
Yes,
I mean,
I've seen that.
Have you seen that? Okay. Or there's another one called Whatnot where you can buy collectibles
okay.
So here's an example, right? Right now you can go online right now and watch somebody open a pack of cards, of baseball cards, and sell it to you. Mm-hmm. Say, oh, we got this card. We're going to sell it for bidding starts at $40. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hypothetical. Well, now imagine instead of having a person actually open it, it's just an avatar saying, we have this and this is what it looks like. And that person is actually partying in Maui and not doing anything because that's possible. Now, the implications of that, how long is that sustainable? I don't know, but that's where we're at.
Well, it's a matter of scalability. So you do your Maui party, but your creativity comes up with, how am I going to leverage this technology with something else? They're selling products here. Now how they leverage technology to do something else. It's a great scalability tool to increase your ability to influence. Another AI fascination, at least for me, you guys be the judge, is military applications. They're talking about unmanned, munitions and things that, they're able to do more than what like jets and a multitude of drones and all that stuff, where it's literally can identify a target through facial recognition based upon that, confirming it, and then executing a mission without any.
Those sniper rifles are scary.
Yeah.
You take a look at the AI. Everybody's freaking out like, oh my God, but when you really look at it, I believe it's going to be, and it is currently, a very valuable asset to all industries, all professions.
Yes.
Because now, instead of, an accountant having to, go through all that, they can get assistance by just plugging things in and boom, making it quicker, faster, to be able to make decisions quicker. close end of month faster, quicker, just getting data faster so that you can spend your time, on, hey, growing the business, stop wasting the 20, 30, 40 hours that you have to hire somebody to crunch all these numbers and do all the, it's like, no, AI, for the most part, I believe, is it a threat? Yes. But I think it's more of a asset that can be used by all these professionals to make things quicker, easier, faster, and better.
So what are some of the threats that business people should be aware of, companies like ours or anybody, our audience that has a business, of how AI can be used to harm their company?
Well, okay. So bad people do bad things. Bad people with AI do more bad things. It's just exponentially growing the capabilities of a person. One person can really screw things up. So with AI, right now they're seeing a lot of, hacks. If you tap your company into a certain server, it takes all your data. There's things like that are pretty scary. But, as a person, in a company and things like, if your size, as long as you know who's coming in, who's not, I don't think you have too much to worry about, other than your competitor might be doing things faster and better than you, and how are you going to be the one doing it? So I think the threats are more about competition than even the stuff like that.
We had a previous guest that was in cybersecurity, so they're dealing with that element of it. One of the other dangers, interesting to hear your opinion of this, is the current models like Grok and Chat, and who knows how many are going to be coming down the pike. They're designed to, you give it a prompt, it accesses all the information as available, and then it'll give you a response. If there's not that information readily available, one of the problems is it makes it up. It'll respond in a way that is not legit, is totally made up, and is not substantiated.
Well, I got to stop you right there.
Yeah.
You can set it up so it doesn't do that.
Right, of course.
Did you just correct him?
I'm sorry, but it's one of those things that someone who's not in that space, or even like doesn't know a guy like me to tell you. I have almost no hallucination. It's called hallucinations. That's the buzz term for it.
I was getting to a point, so hold your hallucination for a moment. So my point was, with an expert like you could stop hallucinating. But what, to Martin's point of an expert leveraging it to help more efficiently process some of these more time constraint and things, it's important for whoever's using it to have the expertise, to know the subject matter, to be very clear on what the output is. It still requires an audit feature, unless, of course, you have the hallucination eradication strategies that Jake's referring to. But so it's definitely...
And that's my point with the professionals, is that, they can see if it's spitting out garbage.
There's bullshit.
Right. So back to the hallucination part. That's a great point.
Yeah, it's becoming almost not even existent. I know it hasn't caught up to where there's none, but it's getting to the point where there's almost no hallucinations too. So that's almost been, we've almost,
not to refute or debate, but I will definitely say I've experienced a multitude of hallucinatory events. Oh wait, are we talking AI still?
So one of the subjects that's near and dear to me is using AI in the marketing realm, and how it's changing search engine optimization, and how to enhance all of the normal marketing strategies that have been common for the last 3, 5, 10 years, that are now all being challenged and changed at a exponential pace.
Yes.
But it's still not a majority yet, but it's happening really quick to where it's affecting all the standard marketing practices. Touch on that a little bit.
In what aspect? Because there's a lot of ways we can go.
So developing a website, creating SEO strategy. How is it being impacted? Website SEO strategy. By AI.
So website and SEO strategy. Most things haven't changed as much as you would think. It sounds like it would. The only thing is now competitors, like I said, the threat of competitors now know exactly what keywords they need to add. They need to know exactly, you know, where they can put their information. But I think it highlights you can use SEO, you can use those things, but you still got to do the human portion of it. And that's where the attention economy, everyone's talking about the attention economy, or things like this podcast, you know, where we have this conversation. Those things are still substantially more important for an SEO, website, AI, those types of things than even ever before. It's just enhancing.
And adding to what Jake's saying, with all the SEO initiative that companies have done, in this particular case, Trendler, we have gotten a much bigger footprint out in the digital world, and the data that's being accessed through these search engines of now with chat and all that is
Social
now
media,
accessing a larger portfolio of what is already out there. So Trendler's able to leverage it more effectively. And to Jake's point, now based on that new understanding of what's out there, to put more content and things that will help enhance the overall richness of the objective of growing and the objectives you're going to leverage it for. Does that make sense?
That's true, but I was going to say one more point to that. You getting out in the community is more important now. Before, it used to be you could optimize your website to a point where your website was perfect and you would get attention. That's not the only way that you get attention on your website. You know, the social media, the being a part of your local chamber of commerce, going to different charities and being the face of a charity matters so much more now, because that information is now much easier to extract. So it takes that.
I'm hearing
So the more things you're involved in, the more things, the more data points your information is in for it to.
Correct.
I'm hearing the term attention economy more and more. Actually, I've just heard it for the first time, you know, and recently. Okay, I've not heard of it.
I'm not familiar with.
So I want you to expand upon what attention economy is and means.
Think of it as how many eyeballs are looking at you. You know, the NFL gets millions of people every week. Okay, I'm going to use football because I know you guys all watch football. So the attention, you know, having your attention is why they make money. The fact that they have viewers and watchers and people to look at them is why they make money. It's not because they have cool sports. It's because of the amount of people that think it's cool. That's why they have, you know, I mean, anything from a concert you go to a movie you watch, to the amount of time you spend on your phone is all about how much you spend on it. That's why it has value, because it has your attention, it has your time, it has your money, it has everything involved. Now imagine, instead of a football game being that person, you as a company are the attention.
Trendler Inc.
Trendler
Inc.
Inc.
Attention.
Wow, your chairs are, I mean, look at how cool that chair is, and you have the knowledge to, you know, give that to the audience, or to the small business, the family business. You know, wow, people are really fascinated by those things because that's not something they're doing, and it has their attention, which that's what has the value. It's the time of people. You know,
so a new currency or a way of adding value that your attention
getting yourself in front of as many eyeballs as possible.
Correct. But think about it even from the one step farther. As much as, you know, money is important, most people have their needs met. Even people that don't have a lot still have a roof over their head. They still have this. So what else is there to have? I mean, you only have so much money. I mean, Elon Musk, I'm sure, has more than enough to live his life and never need another dime. What else is there? You know, so the attention is that next evolution of the economy.
So the concept that once all of Maslow's theory of all of your needs being satisfied, the hierarchy and attention is something, because everything is pretty much satiated. You know, it's abundant society, it's prosperous, all that. Now the currency or the metric that they're using for success is attention, getting more eyeballs on your company, your thoughts, your, you know, whatever your your rhetoric is that you're trying to get out there, and people paying attention to it. Because if they're not paying attention, you're irrelevant, really.
Right. And someone else will take that time and they'll become the person that people go to. I mean, you see it now where celebrities, I mean, it's always been a thing where celebrities will sell a product. You know, that's just the face of the product. Well, now imagine you are a celebrity selling the product because people can now access you and your face and they like you and what you have to say. That's where it's gone.
And the interesting thing on a little slight tangent, I don't know if it's a tangent, but to your point, you got me thinking about this, Jake, was, you know, the fundamental needs, Maslow, you know, food, shelter, all that stuff.
Self-esteem.
Self-actualization. Now, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? It becomes now fulfillment. What are you doing and engaging as a human being for fulfillment? What's going to give you that sense of whatever it is you're pursuing in this new digital world? There is a plethora
the significance of that
of resources trying to now tap into what it is you consider fulfillment. So they're now trying to get the eyeballs or the attention economy. And there's like I've heard some philosophies that like the human brain is almost not equipped to deal with the plethora of data and information coming at us, that, you know, it's easy to get overwhelmed. And, you know, you might have conquered the, you know, alcoholism bug or drug bug, but now you got the data information bug where you're now addicted to the scrolling and the dopamine hits with, you know, it's the next.
And your attention span is averaging 8 seconds. So how much time do you have to get somebody's attention? It's like, it just, you know, moving, shaking.
It's fascinating.
It is a very fascinating subject.
So what is a typical day in a AI-enabled entrepreneurial entrepreneur's day look like?
Well, a lot of the things I used to have to do don't exist anymore because something else is doing it for me. I guess for me, you know, I do more than just AI, and I spend most of my time on web design and web technologies, more so than just e-commerce, by the way. But a lot of it is, you know, I just deal with people. You know, I found that the human element, now that I have more time to have the human element because I have a program doing most of the work, I can now go to my clients. I can go talk to people. I can find out what their challenges and problems. And, you know, I actually spend most of my time going to events and meeting people and leveraging that, which has been exponentially better for me than just sitting behind a computer all day. Obviously, I still do that at times, and I have to do the work too and make sure that everything's running properly. And, you know, I don't know if you want to get into the weeds of what coding looks like, but it's a lot of just sitting and looking at, you know, text and numbers.
Apps that are able to do a lot of the code. Was it Vibe
coding? I don't do that yet, but it's something I'm going to be looking at.
I have a very, very close colleague in my network that's doing it, and blows your mind. The concept of Vibe is it's a can you describe what it is?
Yeah. So again, like everything, all your programs are just text that's been put into a certain pattern or sequence to have an outcome. I mean, that's all it is. It's ones and zeros in a certain sequence is really what it is. Now, instead of you having to type that out like by hand, you just say, hey, I want this. And then it takes the code, puts it out there, tests it, makes sure it works, and then does it again to refine it and refine it and refine it. Now, vibe coding is really cool because if you have no computer science background, you now can make an app. It's pretty cool.
Right. So, I mean, it's able to gather all this information through a layperson's understanding, load that stuff in, and it comes up with the software, developed everything, and here's the output. Boom.
It used to be people would have to do
programmers. Anyway, so it's just the technology to that point. There's a multitude of examples how this is.
I mean, we could build a business right now with some sort of idea that you may have, and maybe we should do that for an episode where we just build it out because it's that easy.
So, give me an example of building out a business.
So before we get into that, I think given the time frame and the content of what we've addressed, if we can use that as a starting point to start wrapping it up because of the time constraints we have. But
yeah. So for me, what does that mean? Create a. I'm not.
Well, I know you're a little bit older than everyone else here, but sorry. But
just to reemphasize that obvious point, you said attention span's 8 seconds. It's already down to 2 seconds. But I'm teasing.
I'm also joking.
That's very hurtful.
But the wisdom you can't get.
Let me give you an example. You use I know you use Spotify all the time. That's an app. That's an app, right? And while you're using Spotify, imagine you told a computer, I want a music player that looks just like Spotify and does X, Y, Z. You can do that now, and it'll make that for you.
Okay.
Instead of you just,
Right.
That's one example. Imagine you want a fitness workout app that gives you videos that can do this. Mm-hmm. You can now code that. You just say, I want this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's pretty crazy.
So, closing comments,
It's a fascinating subject. We're all affected by it. Everybody's actually utilizing it and might not even know it, but it's a fascinating subject.
Yeah.
And it's coming at us fast.
Yeah, we could sit here and talk about this for probably another 8 hours if you let me, but and we'll still not answer all your questions. But
I think it's just eye-opening and it's been exciting. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you taking it.
Of course.
Yep. This has been a great episode, Jake. It's always good to engage with you and
of course,
tap into the brilliance that is there. This has been very exciting, and the subject matter is cutting edge. So it's absolutely fascinating. Really, really is. With that, so that would conclude another episode of Brothers, Battles and Bounty. So with that said, you can watch us on
Spotify, YouTube,
LinkedIn, Facebook,
Instagram,
and
any other mediums that are available.
Any questions, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to answer them. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, you can also reach out to us. We'd love to have you on.
Cool.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Jake.
you.
Thank you.